Okay, here we go. Casa fans, we are back. The second episode, the full episode of the Casa Grande Beat. This episode primarily fully focusing on the Vine Valley Tournament victory that Casa Grande had last night. Holy smokes, what an exciting second half we had. In this episode, again, let me introduce myself. Sorry, I got excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. Todd Bugbee here. Thank you guys so much for your support. In talking to some parents yesterday and some players and the coaches, everybody seems to think this is a good idea, and I don't want to disappoint you guys. Hopefully this will be something you guys can draw on and listen to forever. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So thank you guys so much for joining and your support. And let's get ahead. Let's go for it. So last night, you know what? Actually, let me back up. Here we go once again. Getting ahead of myself. We're going to talk about the show really quick. Today, I've got an interview with head coach Nick Guillory. We did a pregame interview where Nick reflects on the team, talks a little bit about the future and what the future holds, and also talks about the game expectations versus Napa last night. A post-game conversation with Rick Duarte. Rick talks a little bit about his history with Casa, what got him here, his role, as well as his perspective on this season, and a little bit about the future. Now, Rick is also going to break down the Vine Valley Tournament, how we secure the spot in the NCS, and how things are kind of done behind the scenes. And I know that we all, as parents, had questions about that. Everybody's kind of guessing. So he gives us really keen insights. He said he was been studying this stuff for like 3 weeks. So he's going to break it down for us and give us the information that we need. Also have a very cool spotlight on Danny Mercado, the Casa Grande equipment manager. Also the spirit that Danny brings to the bench and the confidence that he brings to the kids just by being there, I think is very important. So we have a little spotlight on Danny. First, I'm going to get into the game discussion with Napa. We'll talk a little bit about what's to come with American Canyon. Without further ado, here we go. Casa Grande grinded out another win last night against a very tough and formidable opponent in Napa. This is the third time we played Napa this season, and we were able to come out with a victory. The final score was 56-44. I was so excited. So we start out the game. It's a little stale. It's 0-0 for, 2-3 minutes. But things kind of got cooking. And at halftime, we had a really big push to put ourselves up 8. Let's just talk about the point leaders from last night really quick. David Isola finished with 18 points. Drew Bugbee finished with 17 points, in which case he went 5 for 6 for 3. Also had a really crucial and one. Ryan Rice contributed heavily in the second half, especially 8 points. Sammy Satut, 7 points. Contributions from Jake Barlow with 4 points. Andon Harris got a couple points at the end. Really strong defensive showing from Luke Bell, being crucial with rebounding, assists, controlling the ball at point guard, hustling, diving after the ball. His passing's been crucial. The control of the game that he brings, the rebounds that he gets, again, I can't say enough. What doesn't show up on paper that Luke Bell brings to the team. We also had contributions minute-wise from Luca, Owen, and Max to round everything out. David Isola, start out, had huge 3, had control of the ball with 10 seconds left at the end of the half. Goes left on the baseline, somehow puts in the ball as a beautiful layup, and puts Casa up 8 at half when it had been a back and forth toss up in the first half. Every time Casa scored, Napa had an answer. In fact, Casa was trailing Napa most of the half. Bugbee, again, unconscious, 5 for 6 from 3. Totally different feel in general for the team in the second half. And this kind of is the common theme with Casa Grande this year. They really are a third quarter team. Now, Drew's threes and his passion and getting so fired up was really the catalyst, in my opinion, for the energy and the heart that the team showed in the second half. Again, every time Casa scored, though, Napa had an answer. Napa was tough, man. Gael Bazogisa had 3 threes and finished with 18 points dropped on Casa's head. Now, their big dude, 6'8", Will Flynn is their stud. He's got a hell of a touch. And the guy's dominant typically around the basket, and he can actually shoot three, and we got really lucky that he missed a couple threes last night. But Drew Bugbee was guarding him primarily and held him to 4 points, which is nearly unheard of. Apparently, it's the first time he's been held to that low a point all season. So really huge defensive game by Casa to hold him to that. Now, we couldn't stop Gael. And in the fourth quarter, Casa had the lead, 13-point lead at the end of the third. It was 45-32. Going into the fourth, we had a solid lead, and it was maintained primarily by Ryan Rice. At one point, he hit a deep three from frickin' Mendocino County, or let's say Napa County, and we maintained a solid lead. It got a little scary. Number 10 on Napa, Henry McPherson, at one point had a late shot, a two-pointer and one. He finishes with 9 points overall, but he pulled them within 10 at one point, kind of keeping everything exciting. But every time Napa got close, we had an answer, whether it was Drew's three-pointers. I think Sammy had a couple buckets. David, again, crucial, a couple amazing shots under the basket. Final game score was 56-44, putting Napa essentially out of their misery. With this win, Casa Grande secured their NCS bid. Now, it wasn't a guarantee, which was shocking to me, that they weren't going to be guaranteed as the winner of their, the Vine Valley League, that they weren't going to be guaranteed a spot in the NCS. And actually, based on what Rick told me after the game, Napa actually had an opportunity. Had they won last night, they would have had an opportunity to get into the NCS as well. We get the bid into the championship game, and guess who? American Canyon beats out Sonoma last night, and they are there waiting for us. So this game is actually at Napa, so it's on Napa soil. But it is against American Canyon. So American Canyon is going to have somewhat of an advantage in regards to their fan base. So we really need as much support as we can get traveling over to Napa to support this team. 7 p.m. on Saturday evening, Casa Grande versus American Canyon. We've won once against American Canyon at home, I believe. American Canyon beat us on their soil. So this is a big game, and it's going to be a big challenge. And the real challenge, I hate to say it, is that it's going to be Napa County refs. So we're just going to leave that at what it is. From the last episode, my feeling, we were getting shaft in the last two games, once against Vintage and once against Napa. Same ref we seem to have a problem with, but that's okay. Our boys, they play hard. They play tough. They play with heart. They have matured over this season. I have watched it. It's been incredible. At the beginning of the season, the reffing, some of the aggressiveness of the other teams, the way they were playing, some calls going against us really would bother the team, and you could see it getting to them emotionally. But at this point, they know it's coming. So they are prepared for it, and everybody's shown a real maturity, not to complain necessarily to the refs. I will say Ryan got a tee last night. I believe all he said was that David Isola, when he scored, he's a sophomore, something like that. Doesn't matter. Sometimes the refs don't take to any sort of taunting. We got to be careful going into American Canyon. The team has to be careful. Coaches need to be careful. And the parents need to be careful as well. Now, I'm not going to be there, so most likely you guys are safe. So anyway, overall, fantastic game. I don't have a whole lot else to say other than just how proud I was of the entire team. And honestly, Ryan, I think, hurt his left hand last night and came out taped up in the second half. And typically Ryan is somebody that we are feeding off of. But last night we had the ability to have David step up in a leadership role. I mean, he was going right at their defense. And I know that guy, Will Flynn, was blocking us like crazy. in the first half especially, that did not stop David. In fact, it made him more hungry to go to the hole. And I saw something. I saw fire in him that I had not seen, and I saw a toughness that I had not seen, and it was absolutely impressive. That combined with the shooting of Drew Bugbee on the outside. Now to Drew being on the outside was no accident. Trying to draw Big Will out of the paint was crucial, right? So that it could open up those holes for David and Sammy to attack, and Ryan. But leaving Drew wide open, and of course he took full advantage of it, going 5 for 6 from 3. So again, I said I was done talking about the game, but I just wanted to add a little bit of that as well. So right now what we're going to get into is, first and foremost, I'm going to start off, we're going to talk a little bit to Nick Guillory, and then I will come back, and then we will talk to Rick Dwart, and at the end we will talk to Danny to kind of cap this episode off. And again, I want to thank everybody for your support. I want to thank you for checking it out, and share this thing. If you know other parents that aren't catching wind of this, anybody else that might be interested, please share the podcast. Spotify has the video cast. iTunes will have the audio, and I am uploading this to my personal YouTube page as well. So all 3 formats completely covered. Who knows? This is going to be rolling into the baseball season, which I'm really excited about. Okay, here we go. Please stay tuned. Here we go. We are going to talk to Coach Nick right now. I'm here with Coach Nick. If you wouldn't mind just reflecting a little bit on this season, going 11-1 in Vine Valley. It's your second year as head coach. What does that mean to you?
I mean, the league run we went on was special just because it's who you do it with, and it's such an awesome group of kids. Especially with our preseason, we had a pretty difficult schedule. We had some good wins, and then we had 2 separate 3-game losing streaks. So it's easy to get down and maybe not play your best ball going into league. But I mean, the maturity these kids showed, like dealing with adversity, figuring it out, and then to go 11-1, playing a league schedule, which is always difficult because there's a lot of film on you. Scouts and coaches know each other. Just couldn't be more proud of it.
A lot of good young talent. Can you tell me about what that looks like for next season, and if you're excited for that, and just reflect a little bit on the talent you got moving out and then coming up, new leadership?
Yeah. Well, I think the best part about it was the core group of seniors we have. We're going to miss dearly. They brought all those young guys along with them the whole season. And it's not just like what they're doing on the floor and leading by example here. They would drive each other to practices. They would get lunch together. So the sophomores and juniors, specifically the sophomores, have a tight bond with the seniors. They're going to be ready to lead immediately once they leave. And that is, I mean, beyond huge. So that's a testament to those guys. So we're graduating a lot of minutes, a lot of points, a lot of leadership. So it's gonna sting. And frankly, those seniors like Drew, Ryan, Luke, Jake, Owen, Andon, Jack, TJ. Am I missing anybody? Yeah, and I mean, they're leaving a huge hole, but they also left as a legacy. Like, we hadn't won league in 11 years. I don't think the basketball culture wasn't, I think, what it should be, and we can only do so much. That's on them. Like, working hard and like committing to a system. They did it. So.
This is a little different vibe. We're going into the Vine Valley tournament here. Can you tell me a little bit about what you expect out of Napa tomorrow?
Yeah, well, Napa's tough. I was looking at the matchups, and I mean, we're ready for anybody, but I think schematically, talent-wise, coaching, they're one of the tougher draws for sure. I know Carson pretty well. He runs a good program. They have Will Flynn is a tough matchup. 6'8". He can do it all. Number 1, Gael is slasher, senior. He can get buckets, and then they got a shooter. I mean, they got a core 3 guys, and then 0 is just an absolute pest defensively. Yeah, so they bring challenges, and the first time we played them, we handled them here, I think, decently well, but they were without one. And then the next time we played them, that was probably our toughest run in Viva. We only scored 52, and it was almost, I think, a tie game in the third. So to answer your question, I expect a battle tonight, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side. We'll talk to you about before the NCS tournament.
Okay. Hope we get in. All right, thanks. That's fun.
So some key insights from Coach Nick. I mean, it's really good to hear him talk about the team and talk about the closeness and the bonding that these seniors made with the underclassmen, and how it really sets them up emotionally and sets them up. There's now a tradition of winning at Casa that has not been there for quite a while, and so there's an expectation, and there's going to be kind of a swagger with these juniors and sophomores who are moving up and going to be the new leaders of the team next season. I'm really excited to be able to witness that. Once Drew goes off to college, I'm going to be bored and I'm going to be looking for things to do, and I damn well know that we're going to be out there supporting the Casa Grande Gaucho basketball team. So thank you very much, Coach Nick, for being a part of this. So without further ado, let's talk to Rick Duarte. Now, you guys may know Rick. He has been a staple for Casa Grande in every aspect, in every sport. The guy's got his fingerprints everywhere. Here we go, Rick Duarte.
Quick is good.
I'm here with Rick Duarte. Rick, we want to do a quick focus on you. I want to know, how long have you been at Casa and in the program?
I've been in the program since 2004 when Coach Forney asked me to be the announcer.
Okay, so you're
For
the
the home
announcer.
games, yeah.
That's your official title?
That's my official title.
And you keep booking. Of
Then
course,
I've
you do a
added
bunch of other
things.
things.
When Coach Forney got ill with his cancer, then I started coming to practices, helping out with fundraising, doing all the things I've done, keeping score. So just keep adding stuff, and then I've done it ever since.
Well, you are very vital to the scene here, so I appreciate that, and all the parents appreciate you. So give me a little bit of a reflection on this season in particular. First time, I guess, in 11 years that we've won the pennant.
Correct.
I understand you were pretty emotional when you came in last week.
I was pretty darn happy. Yeah, I was pretty darn happy. That was a good moment.
Reflect on the players that you're going to see graduate here.
Yeah, it's a great group. We have obviously a big senior class, but they're all great kids. You know, I've known most of them since Little League days.
Yes.
And, you know, they're getting it done. Obviously, we have a great coach now and a great coaching staff with Nick and Andre. So that's a plus. And things are looking up. I mean, we got a great sophomore class.
I was going to say,
we're going to be
a little bit about the future.
I think there could be some pennants in the future too.
Nice.
So
right.
I think we're going to go on a good run here. Hopefully, we'll get a good seed in the NCS playoffs.
Yeah, can you explain that really quick? So what I understand is we're not still guaranteed for a spot.
We are actually guaranteed a spot.
Yeah.
So basically, our league gets 2 automatic qualifier spots.
Okay.
And the pennant didn't get us that. It's only the tournament. So whoever makes the championship game, those 2 teams get the automatic bid.
So are we in essence in the championship game now?
Yes, we're in the championship game with the 1 win because we had the bye.
Right.
And we play either American Canyon or Sonoma
Okay.
on Saturday in Napa. That's where they're hosting the championship game. So we're guaranteed a spot in NCS. If we win the tournament, we are guaranteed a champions automatic qualifier, which means if we're a 9 through 16 seed and we play a 1 through 8 and they're not a champion, we would get a home game.
Oh, wow.
Even though we could be a 16 seed, play the 1, if they're not a champion of their league, we get a home game first round. So that's what we're playing for right now.
Okay. And what do you see, like, I mean, NCS obviously completely different ball game when it comes to competition.
Right. We're looking at teams that are ranked in our neck of the woods, basically.
Right.
So NCS is doing it differently. It used to be you were in your division based on enrollment. So we're Division 2 by enrollment.
Oh, interesting.
But now they're doing the top 6 teams in NCS by rating, Max Preps rating, are in the open division. Then the next 16 are in Division 1, then Division 2, Division 3, 4, 5. And you can only go up or down 2 divisions. So we're Division 2.
Wow, so we could possibly be 4?
We are in 4 right now, according to research, yeah.
Wow.
But that's as low as we can go. We can't be in D5.
Okay.
Napa was playing for, if they had won tonight, they would have got an automatic berth.
Wow.
Because the league has 2 of them.
It wouldn't have been American Canyon, huh?
Well, no, American Canyon, if they win tonight, they also get
They
one.
also, okay,
right.
gotcha.
But only one will get the champion's berth.
Oh, I see.
But by Napa, that was the only way they were going to get to NCS because they don't have a good record. They don't, you know, they're basically not qualified. But if they had beaten us tonight, they'd be in. and they're a Division I school, so the lowest they could be is Division III. So
Wow.
a lot of moving parts.
Jesus.
It's we'll know on Sunday. So Sunday is Selection Sunday. They post it probably around noon.
Where are those
on
games
Sunday.
Typically? Obviously, we have an opportunity to play at home, but is it just a random?
Well,
game?
North Coast
Or is
section. So you figure it's
So,
East
but
Bay.
let's say if we played somebody in East Bay, is it automatically at their school, or is it a third school?
It depends on no. It
Neutral
depends.
school.
It's home sites, and it
Okay.
depends on
Okay.
who's the better seed and if they're a champion or not.
Okay. Yeah.
And that goes all the way until even because it's 16 teams, so you could win 4 games to win that title and advance to NorCal's.
Wow. So yeah, there is another level after NCS even.
NorCal's to state, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm sure the parents are going to very much appreciate this info because none of us have a clue what's going on out there.
There's a lot of calculus involved. I've been doing online research for about the last 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Because Max Preps updates your ratings and your strength of schedule it used to be twice a week. Now it's every other day.
So I see that, and I get the notification. So it's
Yeah.
fair to say Max Preps is fairly accurate when it comes to the rankings. All
It's
that.
what they're using.
What about the actual stats? Because I was talking about the stats in my first podcast, and some of the blocks and things like that, they seem really low. Like, are those stats realistic, or is that something you input, or who's putting?
What do you mean
those?
stats like points and
player
stuff?
stats.
That's I think coach is putting those in.
Okay.
And he gets it from film. So remember, we film the games.
Okay, right.
And in fact, I got to turn the camera off.
All right, well, let me just say goodbye here.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Rick, for your time. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you in
Go
Napa.
Gauchos.
Hopefully you'll come to Napa.
Oh, I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be on the bus probably.
All right, sounds good.
So fantastic to hear from Rick. As you can see, totally in good spirits, super excited about bringing home the pennant this season. So thank you, Rick Duarte, very much for being such an important part of the program. And like you said, you've seen a lot of them since they were young. I think that's so cool. Next, we got Danny Mercado. We're going to do a quick spotlight on Danny, and then we are going to wrap this sucker up. Without further ado, Danny Mercado.
Okay, I'm here with Danny Mercado, equipment manager, right?
Yes, sir.
Equipment manager,
Yes, sir.
and okay. So tell me a little bit about your role on the team.
Really, I called Coach up at the beginning of the season, and I really just am all about the team camaraderie and competitiveness. So I asked him up. I called him. Didn't want to actually play. I needed to rest the body for upcoming baseball season, but I've had so much fun getting with the guys. Coach right there. It's a great team. Love being around it. Love the game. It's awesome. Hit the waters for the boys.
Yeah,
Down there.
you're also helping a little bit with the physical side of it. When somebody gets injured, I see that you
Absolutely.
help take people up.
Absolutely,
Help Drew a couple times.
sprained ankles. I know a lot about injuries from football seasons, a lot of nicks and knacks all around the body. Just able to spread my knowledge to the boys on the court.
Just for a second, can you reflect on this season, what it means to you as a senior to watch these guys bring home the Vine Valley, championship?
Absolutely, it's great. I mean, since 2011, not a team from Casa Grande has done that, and the age that I grew up with, of being able to watch them. I mean, I played with them in the youth years. Just be able to watch them grow up and be able to accomplish that as a senior year, it's awesome. It's amazing to see.
What do you expect from Napa tonight? We beat them twice, but they're a tough team.
They
You got
are.
anything that you expect out of Napa?
Nothing special. I mean, playing them two or three times already. I mean, you know what you're gonna get. You know what they're gonna try and give you. You know that they're gonna try and stop for you guys. It's all about execution, getting it done.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So as you can see, Danny brings the fire, brings the energy. He's super excited about the role that he took on this team. Of course, it's hard not to watch Danny play basketball because over the years, Danny has been such a crucial part of this basketball program. But he is a freaking stud out on the baseball field and a stud out on the football field. And the kid needs a little rest here and there. So thank you, Danny, so much for your efforts and the time that you put in. And I want to thank you so much for the attention you've given to Drew and helping him with his injuries, especially. And we look forward to seeing you out on the baseball field this season. Okay? Okay, you guys, that is it. We talked about the game. We talked about the tournament. We talked about the NCS. We talked to Rick Dwart. We talked to Coach Nick Guillory. We had a spotlight on Danny Mercado, our equipment manager. I hope that you found that this was an entertaining, quick podcast, something worth listening to. Thank you all so much for your support. I will see you next time. We're going to have a podcast before we get into the NCS. We'll do a preview show. And then, of course, I'm going to talk about those games in detail. Thanks again. I'm Todd Bugbee. You guys have a fantastic day. Go Casa on Saturday. I will be there in spirit. And let's get this thing. All right, let's bring home the tournament championship. Peace.